All right. So, Demi, I'm going to start this interview off a little different than I normally do, just because I'm so grateful for you. And I just wanted to say thank you. And that I'm so proud of you for speaking up about mental health, because I think like a lot of people, and not just this country, but worldwide, myself included, have been affected by mental health. Personally, I have anxiety, take medicine every day, do my therapy on the reg.
Mm-hmm.
I have family members who bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, you name it. And everybody has always been so silent for so long, and they've been suffering in this silence. And I just want to know, like, what was that aha moment for you that you were like, I need to speak up and I need to speak out?
The aha moment for me came, well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your words are very, very important to me. And it's messages like those that reinforce the purpose behind why I do what I do. And
Totally.
My aha moment, I think, was I went into treatment for the first time when I was 18 for, mental health issues, one being an eating disorder. And I just honestly didn't want to live in secret anymore. I wanted to put it all out there because I was at the time a role model on Disney Channel with a TV show, and I was under a microscope. So, if I got seen with a red Solo cup in my hand, people might think it's alcohol. And that's the way that I was living. I was living in fear of just being ripped off of that pedestal of being a role model. And so I decided, I need to come clean. I need to be completely honest about my past and let people know that it's okay. Like, I am a role model not because I have a perfect history by any means. I am a role model because I choose to learn from my mistakes and I choose to grow. And there's a responsibility that comes with that like I've had to learn to appreciate. But that was my aha moment. And that's why I continue to do it to this day, because not only does it help me to help others, but it's also it's a way to stay accountable and without living in fear.
No, that's perfect. How do we make people realize that being selfish is different from self-care? Because I don't think people take care of themselves the way they do because they're afraid they're going to be viewed as being selfish.
Well, I think we have to get rid of the stigma behind the word selfish. I think it's okay to be selfish. There are times where it is absolutely okay to be selfish, whether you're protecting yourself from something that might be triggering to you, setting boundaries with people, even being of service to others for selfish intentions. Like sometimes I've learned that the best way to get out of your own head is to show up for other people. And so it might have selfish intentions, but ultimately, if you're helping other people, that's the most important thing. And it's okay to be selfish sometimes.
And in this day and age, in this era with technology, I think navigating these waters are even more complicated. And just to put it bluntly, there's a lot of assholes online. So I think, what are some of your tips, especially for that younger generation, when it comes to dealing with social media and how harsh it can be?
I think that especially young people have to remember that, and they have to learn how important it is to set boundaries with either their friends, their family, their coworkers, whatever it is. If you don't want to be receiving negative information on the daily right now, set those boundaries with your friends so that you don't get those links and those text messages or those memes popping up that only reinforce negative energy in your life. It's things like that's going to make a difference in your world. And yes, there are a lot of assholes on the internet, but there's also a lot of hope. So you have to be careful with what you're selecting to put into it, what your content intake is, because you have to be very careful with what you let seep into your subconscious.
Mindset's something I've been working on too, because it just depends on what you choose to see, and like you said, what you choose to absorb. I read your Vogue essay, and it seems like you're really using this time of quarantine to work on yourself, and I love that. So what's been your greatest achievement over the past 6 months, you think?
My greatest achievement over the past 6 months. I think my greatest achievement over the past 6 months would be learning to rewrite the narrative of my history with my daddy issues. Like I had an estranged relationship with my biological father growing up. He passed away when I was young, and I've had that kind of hole in my heart ever since. And this year I was like, before Father's Day comes up, because Father's Day is particularly challenging for me. It's around the time of his death. And so I was like, I need to get ahead of this. And I need to start working on myself and reframing my thinking around his death and my relationship with him so that I can gain the power back. And because I did that, I fully believe that, I was able to accept the love that I now receive from my fiancé on a daily basis. I couldn't have been able to do that before had I not made room for him in my heart.
No, I love that. Flash that ring one more time because it's gorgeous. Congratulations on the engagement, by the way. Like, I love seeing you so happy, and you genuinely seem like you're in a great space. And it's really, really awesome to see. So would you consider yourself an empath? Like, looking through some of your social media and like what you had to say, I mean, obviously everybody was impacted by Chadwick Boseman's passing, but just the way you write, you can just really connect to your feelings. And so, you struck me. I'm like, I think she's an empath.
I definitely am. And that's why I have to be careful and set boundaries with people. I'm intaking, I've had to set boundaries with friends saying, hey, look, this is a lot right now, and I'm trying to protect my mind space and my mental health and my serenity right now. So please respect that. And it's hard. There's so much negativity in the media right now, but if you look in the right places, there's a lot of hope too.
So I was watching a recent interview also, and I cringed when the interviewer asked if you were ashamed. Because I think it's equally important to give guidance on what you should not say to people who are, dealing with mental health and, what you should. So has there been anything, because I think there's a lot to learn there, anything that's been said that you're like, yeah, no, don't ever say that to somebody again?
For a while, I was going to meetings and in recovery after my overdose. And I think people tend to forget that was a really traumatic experience for me.
Totally.
So sometimes, what people don't realize is they might only be one person at a recovery meeting. But for me, I was going to a meeting every day. So that was one person every day coming up to me, telling me, I remember where I was when I heard the news, and I was praying for you to make it through. And it means so much to me. And I'm so grateful because those prayers are what got me through. But, I do ask, and I hope that people can respect that was a really traumatic time for me. And it's not the easiest thing to just talk about off the cuff, especially just like out and about when you're doing your life. And, so just remembering, like, I'm human. Some of the things that I've dealt with, it can be really tricky to talk about. I'm owning, my past and taking control of the narrative in that as well, and feeling empowered by speaking about it and sharing my truth. But just being sometimes being a little sensitive to that can go a long way.
I think that's great advice. Okay, Not to Be Okay, out now, your collaboration with Marshmello that you guys released on World Suicide Prevention Day, September 10th, which is so fitting. The song, it's a banger with a message, and it doesn't get any better than that. So thank you for always being so vulnerable and putting yourself out there, Demi, because you're helping more people than you realize.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
It was lovely talking to you today.
You too.
This is The Bert Show.